can I have one thing tonight? God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Michelle Spears, and I'm here to give you a little short news on tonight. On this Mother's Day, we still have time for Mother's Day. We got about two hour and a half. So we're gonna talk about the enforcement authority under Title 8. You know the Title 42 ended, so we have Title 8 to be restricted at the border. So Title 8 in process, stricter rules at the border. So Title 8 rules presume those who do not use lawful pathway to enter the United States are ineligible for asylum and allow the United States, to remove individuals, who do not establish a reasonable fear of prosecution or in the country removal. So this is all under Title 8. So no citizen, can rebut but this presumption based only on compelling circumstances. So there should be strict rules at the border. I spoke on that like last week sometime when the title for before the title 42 end. That we need strict rules to come behind Title 42. So there should be strict rules at the border. Also to make sure all immigrants are legal before crossing the border. Everyone has to be legal in order to apply for a similar or anything to have to apply for. So for me, I don't believe in unaccompanied alone being separated from their parents. Many children are attempting to cross, the United States Mexico border alone. The number of incompetent children taken into border authorized custody after crossing the United States southern border. They have someone there to get them, but we know what happened years ago. It took a long time. Sometimes they get lost in the system. And then sometimes it take a long time for them to connect with their parents. So children who cross the border alone are first held in custody and border protection. Custody then transferred to the shelter run by DHS, Department of Health and Human Services. So where they're held until they're released to sponsor in the United States. They have someone take, care of that for competent children, but all the time it don't work out that easy. Sometimes they may get lost in the system, or sometimes they be separated from their parents a long period of time, sometimes days, weeks, or months. So Title 8 is a good policy to have in place to secure the border. So there should be strict rules to make sure all immigrants are legal before crossing the border. So crossing the border. So I request no company left alone at the border. To have to be with the parents. When the parents go, the child has to go. We don't need no child alone at the border, to cross over. So all immigrants, they have to be legal, to be eligible to apply for asylum. So once you get to another state, and and you're illegal, you won't be able to apply for anything. You have to be legal to apply for asylum or anything else in the United States. So now request for unaccompanied, child, no accompanied child left alone at the border. So that's that's a story on enforcement authority under Title 8. So I also want to talk to you about the voting age. Someone said the voting age should be 25. I say no. I think we have to. We need everyone, to vote, and I mean keep the voting age at 18. So voting age is a minimum age established, by law. That the person must attain before they become eligible to vote in a public election. So the 26th Amendment, rights to vote, The age is 18 years old, and I think that's a reasonable age for everyone who is at that age and older to vote. 'Cause we need everyone to start voting. We got to vote the right people in, and we have to not vote and have the wrong people out. So we need a maximum age of 18 years old. So the 26th Amendment rights to vote, the age is 18. Section 1, the right of citizens of the United States who are 18 years old age or older to vote should not be denied. So it should not be denied, abridged by the United States or by any state on account of age. So if they're 18 years old, no matter who you are, you have the right to vote. Cause we need everyone to vote. So and then section 2. The Congress should have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. So I request voting age 18 to remain. So I think age 18 is appropriate age to vote. So we need everyone to vote. And this year, voting start next year. But this year is the right time to update all your information. So when next year get here, you'll have everything updated and you'll be ready to vote. So I think this year be the good time to make sure you in the system, make sure you update all your information, especially if you move and you have another number, whatever the case is. This the time to update all your voting information so you can be ready for next year. Because we need everyone to vote. We don't need to boost the age up to 25. We need to keep it at 18 years old so we can have anyone that's 18 years old on up to come out and vote. So we talked about the enforcement authority under Title 8. Because we need strict rules at the border since we don't have Title 42. And Title 42 pretty much was just a help order, check at the border. But we need strict rules at the border. Because all immigrants have to be legal to cross over, because you have to be legal to get to another state to apply for asylum or anything else that you need to apply for once you cross over. Especially, if you're going to the hotel. If anything you have to do in the United States, you have to be legal. You have to have your green card. You got to have paperwork and everything. So you have to be legal. Because if anything go on in the United States and they don't have you on file or in the system, it's gonna be hard. You be consider yourself illegal. So you want to be legal and be in the system so you can be able to apply for anything you need to apply for. So and then you have the strict rules of Title 8 gonna be at the border. Title 8 at the border. So and then we gonna have then I talked about the accompanied child. A child have to be with their parents to cross over. Even though you have DHHS is in place to take care of these kids. But we don't want to have, we had a child that died, had crossed over by herself, so we don't need the children to get sick and their parent not with them. We don't need them to get lost in the system, and we don't need them to be separated, from their parents a long period of time. So this Title 8, seems like it's going to be a good policy to be in place, for ineligible for asylum and allow the United States to remove individuals who do not establish a reasonable fear of prosecution or in the country or removal. So you have to be legal, to cross over to apply for asylum. As you repeatedly, I'm sorry. So, allow immigrants seeking asylum more time to make their requests, to official, but the measure will also carry a penalty, including and 10 years ban for anyone who is caught repeatedly trying to enter the country without authorization. So this policy is a strict policy going to be at the borders that we do need. Because we have to make sure all immigrants are legal. And if you don't follow the policy, then this will be, including 5 to 10 years ban for anyone who caught repeatedly trying to enter the country without being authorized. So you want to be authorized, you want to be legal, and everything else before you cross the border. And if you repeatedly keep doing it that way, you'll be banned for like 5 to 10 years. So that's all the news I have for you on tonight. We talk about the title. We talk about Title 8, policy, and we also talk about the voting age to remain at 18 years old. So oh, losing paper. So yeah, we talk about the voting age to remain at 18 years. 18 years old will be appropriate age, for them, cause they got to fill out forms and everything else to be legal to vote. So I think that's appropriate age. They're in high school at 18 years old, so that'd be appropriate age for anyone at 18 on up to come out and vote. And that come from the 26th Amendment. Right to vote at 18 years old. So that's all the news I have for you tonight. I hope y'all had a nice time for Mother's Day. I hope everything was safe and blessed, and y'all made it home safely. So I'll see y'all on the next video.